What's going on? UFC 305 is going down this weekend. I'm excited for it. Just wanted to try to do a morning MMA show, man, especially on the week of a big pay-per-view. We got some big fights coming up. I figured that it would be pretty fun to come on here and do a little live. So keep it pretty open, you know what I mean? But overall, I want to talk a lot about UFC 305. We can talk about Sean Strickland and this title shot that everyone's getting so excited about that, you know, I'm telling you to pump the brakes on because, you know, we've seen Dana do this. We've seen Dana do this in the past. So I just think it's hard to get our hopes up it's hard to get your hopes up right now. You know what I mean? So that's how I approach it when it comes to Sean Strickland. So, but just want to keep it open, man. What's up, Tehran? How you doing, man? Thanks for popping on here. You know, I love talking when we have a fun pay-per-view coming up, especially one like this. I think it's a good stylistic matchup. I think it's you know, overall good fight. So, what's up, Craze? What's up, Rocco? How you guys doing? So, if you guys like this time's pretty cool, man. I'm thinking, you know, especially when we got, you know, fights coming up, a big pay-per-view. I like doing like a little morning MMA show type of thing, man, you know? What's up, Jesse? How you doing, man? Appreciate you hopping on. So, change your pick back to Izzy. Dude, I'm in a weird spot, man, because I truly look, you guys, I don't feel like I've said many times that I think something is really a 50-50 fight. I really think that this is 50-50. I really do. Like, I could see both guys winning this fight. And it's weird because I want Izzy to win for the aspect of, like, it would be more entertaining. But then again, I'm like, but DDP, if he wins, like, it's still entertaining. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I've just been watching Adesanya for a really long time, really long time in terms of kickboxing. From, you know, he was in King of the Ring and Glory and now in the UFC. So I try to put my bias to the side towards a guy that I like watching. And Izzy's a guy I take a lot of tools from when it comes to, you know, training martial arts myself in terms of, you know, the feints, the range, the utilizing a jab, the footwork, switching stances. So he's a guy that I've kind of modeled a lot of the way that I like to strike off of Israel Adesanya. But in terms of, if this was a straight kickboxing fight, I think Izzy Adesanya definitely wins. Like, I would, you know, I would pick him in that aspect. But when it comes to MMA, I just feel like DDP, he's the better MMA fighter. The better striker, I think, is Adesanya in terms of the footwork, the speed. But again, he's got very underrated striking, in my opinion. I think people don't necessarily give DDP the credit. But also, we gained quite a few subscribers over the past couple of videos that I put out, especially the where I came back to reality videos. So I know we got quite a few DDP fans that have joined. But, you know, I appreciate it. You know, like I said, I don't take anyone subscribing to the channel for granted. So I appreciate it. Like I said, I enjoy I appreciate the support. Since Ariel's leaving the MMA hour, I'm stepping up. No, I'm just, dude, look, you know, the sport is, the UFC, I look at it different than a lot of people have. They've used the Apex strategically to help business in the long run, right? I know the Apex hasn't been the most exciting thing, but think about all the money that the UFC has saved by, you know, doing things out of the Apex. There was a company I used to work for, and they used to go places and put on these crazy events, but then they got this really nice building and they're like, let's do some of them here. And the reason for that being, you save a bunch of money. So I think that that's what the UFC has done. It looks like this year they've already said they're going to Tampa for a fight night. They're going to Edmonton. They're going to China, I believe, is the next one. So they're starting to, I think, get back into, you know, the realm of traveling with these fight nights. So I'm excited. DDP will smash Izzy. Trust that. Trust. Chandler, in a recent interview, he's done waiting on McGregor and said he wants to fight at the end of the year. He said he's interested in a Charles Oliveira rematch and a Gaethje rematch. I did see that. I did see that. Look, Chandler's got to fight again this year, in my opinion. If I'm Michael Chandler, I'm fighting again this year. You've been waiting way, way, way too long. Chandler's almost 40 at this point. You're still 50-50 on DDP versus Izzy. Yeah, I'm like, look, I feel I feel pretty like I don't feel confident in saying either guy's going to win. But again, when I watch the tape and I roll the tape and I watch it, I'm like, DDP's a hard fight for anyone in the division. You know what I mean? And Izzy's good because I've been listening to some of those Izzy interviews, and it's kind of one of the things about him that a lot of fighters are missing these days, which is he knows how to work the microphone, man. He knows how to like get you to buy into. He's got confidence, and he knows how to like word things to where you're like, damn, is he really going to go out there and do that? You know what I mean? And so he's got that like, the aura to him, but it's hard to bet against DDP, man. The guy's undefeated in the UFC. He's good all around. So you think the fight's going to be determined based on Izzy's takedown defense? Izzy's got good takedown defense. He does. And, he's wiry. He's scrambly. What's up, Sven, by the way? But again, yeah, I think that's a great point because if it stays on the feet, DDP's got good striking. But, I don't know. We'll see. Since Chandler said he wants to fight at the end of the year, they could do Chandler versus Oliveira, 2 5-rounders at 310 in December. They could. I don't know if they're going to go that route, but they could. You got Izzy Tehran. What's up, Martin? DDP, a former world champion in kickboxing. Is he? I didn't know that. Let's see. If Izzy beats DDP, that will further prove that he's the second greatest middleweight of all time. He's the second. Who? You still got him behind Silva? Chandler said he wanted to fight Holloway at the Sphere, but Holloway is now fighting Topuria. Yeah, the Topuria-Holloway fight is way bigger. With Lucas gone, you fill that void, and not to be rude, I just didn't know you. But even if he was here, I would still watch. You just chilled, not like other streamers. So can't wait to be part of the family. Appreciate it, Martin. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, like I said, I like MMA and the MMA community. I feel like everyone kind of offers their own perspective on things. They kind of have their own way of doing things, and there's only so many ways you could do things. Like people are like, "Oh, you're cracking a joke at a stream. You're Lucas Tracy," or you took a shot at somebody. You're the MMA guru, or you said this, and it's like when an Irish guy goes up there, like Ian Gary, and starts talking shit, and people are like, "Oh, he wants to be Conor McGregor." It's like someone can't be Irish, have an accent, and talk shit. Like I don't know. So there's only so many ways to do things. There's only so many ways to make a damn thumbnail. There's only so many ways to go about things to where people are going to compare and do that kind of stuff. So, but yeah. Anita Gamrot's chin incoming. What's up, Fight Milk? I mean, I could see it. If Dan Hooker's going to win, he's going to have to get a nice knee up the middle because outside of that, that's going to be a hard win for him. Who you got? Oh, Smelly or Marab, bro? I think Marab smashes him. Man, I think O'Malley beats him. I think a brutal KO. Look, you got to think about it. That show is built around Sean O'Malley headlining the Sphere, one of the most expensive events the UFC has ever done. And it's the Conor McGregor blueprint. What did they used to give Conor back in the day in his prime? They would give him these wrestling-based guys that aren't much of a threat on the feet. And look, I'm not saying Marab isn't a threat. Like he's got good pace, good pressure in this, but he's not really a finisher. And he's fought guys that are there to be grabbed. Like Petr Yan, everyone's like, oh, but he beat Yan. Yan and O'Malley are very different strikers. O'Malley's long and rangy, and he likes to fight on the outside, and he's got really good footwork. So I think Marab's going to have a hard time getting a hold of him. I think he's going to have a hard time getting to him. So I really do think that I think that O'Malley is going to KO him. I really do. I just think that it's set up for O'Malley to get a KO. Chandler probably realized he messed up big time on waiting for Conor. Yeah, he's wasted so much time now, man. It's your birthday, Joshua. Happy birthday, man. What's up, Brendan? I appreciate it, man. Your birthday's tomorrow. Well, happy early birthday, man. Nothing like a good birthday these days, You still think Silva is the middleweight GOAT? I mean, I think if Izzy beats DDP, I think he might take it. I think he might take that title at that point. The fight nobody is talking about on 305 is the main card opener, Li Jingliang and Carlos Prates. That's going to be a firefight to open it. Dude, 100%. That's what I was saying on my, I think my full card breakdown video. I was like, look, the Leech is a fun fighter to watch. I think the Leech he's got really good power in his hands. He's aggressive and he likes to bang it out. And I think Carlos Prates is a guy that's starting to hit that stride. And this is that big opportunity for him. And sometimes it only comes once in your UFC career, that one big fight that you have to win. And this is that fight for Carlos. And I really think that he can get it done. And I think that there's something to be said about when a guy is sidelined for a while. I think a guy like Li Jingliang, I think he's going to have some nervous energy, man. I think he's going to be a little nervous in there, And I like the Leech. I don't like picking against the Leech, but man, I don't know. What's up, Sid? I see you trolling. What's up, Pato? How you doing? 2 days until Cringe Bender holds the belt again. Maybe. You said sadly. I mean, I think that it's exciting no matter what, no matter who wins it. But again, I don't know, man. I don't know. And they said that did you hear how Dana said what did he say? Oh, yeah, if Dricus wins, that they'll go to South Africa and do an event. But they didn't do one in Africa yet, which is crazy because I thought that they were going to do that. Chandler wouldn't have made it to the top of the lightweight if he started at the bottom of the top 15. He's mad overrated and too highly ranked. I mean, yeah. I don't know. He's been squatting on a ranking for 2 years now, Chandler. He hasn't fought. I mean, it's one of the biggest debacles we've seen someone make in a UFC career, honestly. You're picking the Leech to KO Carlos? I mean, I could see it. The Leech is dangerous, but I don't know. I feel like Carlos is just hitting his stride right now. Chris Curtis is out of the fight with Holland. I would love to see them move Holland to 308 and have him fight Sharon Magomedov. I think that's the fight to make there. You're scared for the Leech because he's coming back from a spinal cord injury. Yeah, that's a serious injury too. Serious injury. Anyway, it's great. Strickland is up next no matter who wins. I like his chances against both in a rematch. Dude, there's no guarantee. Dana, I made a video on this. If you didn't see that, check out that video because I pulled 2 clips where everyone was like, oh my God, on Jim Rome, Dana said he's getting the next shot. And then that same day, they had the Dana White's Contender Series, and Dana in the post-fight presser he basically was kind of walking that back a little bit. So the Leech hasn't fought since September 2022, since UFC 279. Yeah, and that's where he beat D-Rod, right? Where the card got shuffled. And that was a close fight against D-Rod. It wouldn't make sense after this fight, though. It made so much sense this time around. But yeah. You're rooting for Prates, especially since he's fighting out of the Fighting Nerds. Yeah, dude, they're a loaded camp, man. They're a loaded camp right now. Loaded camp. Why do people want Holland to get smoked? Pyfer will destroy him. Yeah, Pyfer's a scary matchup for a lot of guys at 85. He's a scary matchup for a lot of guys at 85, considering how the power. Anytime, it's the same thing at heavyweight. Even if a guy is like, well, maybe he's not as well-rounded, maybe he's not as fast, that power, when all it takes is one shot, you got to be perfect in there with a guy like that. Drizzy, you think Chimaev subs Rob in 1 round? I could see it. You're picking Jairzinho to KO Ty. I do think that that's going to happen as well. But then again, it's heavyweight. So even when we're all kind of like Ty seems like he's down and out, all it takes is one shot. Even if Whitaker beats Chimaev, I don't think so. I don't care to see him versus Izzy or DDP. Strickland rematching either of them is a way more interesting fight. I mean, you have a point. I mean, the thing is this. Look, if Rob wins and Izzy wins, like, Izzy has no interest in fighting Rob again, and I don't blame him. You're 2-0 on a guy. Like, even when they did the Volk versus Holloway trilogy, like, the reason they did that one is because the second one, if most people felt like, I feel like Holloway won, right? So then I can understand how they would want to do that there, but, you know, you got Rosenstrike by KO. Ty lost 4 in a row. Yeah, Tai Tuivasa he's got businesses going on. He's got all sorts of different things going on to the point where he just feels like he's it just feels like he's on his way out at this point. No, D-Rod did not beat the Leech. It was close, though. Wait, did he? Wait, who won? Who won that fight? I thought it was the Leech. Or no, yeah, it was D-Rod won, but we thought the Leech won. It was one of those where I remember it was like a it was kind of a robbery. I can't remember. Somebody won. I think it was one that D-Rod won. You don't think Holland will try to avoid those powerful shots from Pyfer? No, he will. He will. He's going to have to fight him at range. But again, with Joe Pyfer, he's aggressive. He moves forward. And I just don't know if Holland has the skills to be able to keep him off of him. Yeah, Pyfer, yeah, he's very aggressive. He's very aggressive early. You're back and forth with the main event. That's how I felt, man. I've felt that way ever since the fight was announced. I thought I was sure that I thought I was sure. I don't fucking know at this point. I'm just excited for the fight. Do I know when the press conference is? It's a great question. Everything's in like the Australian timeline, which is way different than us. So I really don't know. I really don't know. You remember that D-Wad won in a controversial decision against the Leech? Yeah, now I remember that. Fucking bug flying around. Yeah, I remember the fight was close, or not, was a robbery, but I didn't remember who it was for. Pyfer versus Hamzat. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that fight. I don't think we're going to see that fight. That'd be wild, but I don't think we're going to see that. Not until they're at the top of the division. Dana's not going to want to put two prospects like that against each other yet. It's hard to fight Pyfer at range. He's going to find a way to land that brutal KO shot. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's dangerous, man. Pyfer's dangerous at all times. What's up, Joshua? Izzy's KO to Alex was a fluke. He's overrated, not a great striker, but boring and cringe fighter. I mean, I think he's a good striker. I think he's a very good striker. And I don't really think it was a fluke. I just think it was a trap that he set, and it was a setup, and Alex fell for it. But if they did it again, I don't know that would work. But again, it worked. So I wouldn't say it was a fluke. I just think he just kind of set him up. Press conference is at 4 a.m. Eastern time on the 16th. So it'll be like Friday morning at 4 a.m. Damn, for the U.S. That's crazy. As much as people dislike Adesanya, I'm glad he left, but now I'm glad he's back. Look, he's one of the bigger names in the UFC. Whether you like him or not, he's one of the biggest stars, and he kind of brings like a fun event, like even all the bullshit that he's doing on social media right now. Whether you find it weird or you like it or don't, like, it's getting people buzzing, you know? So he's one of the few left in the game right now that's on the roster that understands how to like get people to tune in and get people interested, because I feel like that's missing. A lot of these fighters, they just can't draw people in the way that some of the other guys have done it in the past. If Alex was still at middleweight, I think Pyfer would have been the one guy to KO him. I mean, I don't know. I think when you watch some of those fights back with Poatan at middleweight, man, he looks drained. He just looks like a different dude at light heavyweight in his past fight or two. You know what I mean? I just think that he looks more filled out. I think he doesn't look as drained, and I don't know. I just think he's looked a lot better over his past few fights at light heavyweight. Connor versus Volk. What's up, Abdul? That fight ain't happening, man. Izzy knocking out Alex wasn't a fluke. If that's the case, we could say the same when Alex knocked him out because Izzy was winning. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Not a bad point. Not a bad point. Yeah, no problem, Joshua. Appreciate it, man. Pereira looked like he was half dead at middleweight. He did, dude. He did. And that's why I'm saying, even when he was doing well at middleweight, I'm like, dude, he just doesn't. If you watch this speed and the way he was moving back, it just didn't look, even at in Glory Kickboxing, when he like fought at 205, to me, he fought a little bit different. He just didn't look as like lethargic, You think if DDP loses this weekend, he can make his way to the belt again? He's only 30. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I think he could. Yeah, for sure. Robert Whittaker is more deserving for a title shot of the winner of Dricus and Izzy. The lad has 2 wins in a row, and Sean just won. Dana picked Strickland because of the trash talk. So here's the thing, Jason. I made a video on my channel talking about this. Dana contradicted himself. He literally that same day in the morning said that Jim Rome, he's like, Strickland's next. And then in the post-fight of Dana White's Contender Series that night, he kind of walked that back a little bit. So I broke it down in a video where I pulled those clips because he basically I think he forgot that Hamzat and Whittaker were going to be fighting. So like I've said, if Hamzat wins, all bets are off. What's up, Joanne? You just feel like Izzy wasn't socialized that much as a kid. All those weird posts and the things he says in his interviews just comes across as a very low social awareness. He just is, he's a different, he's got a unique way, I guess, of marketing himself. What's up, Chad? Finally got here kind of on time. My Izzy and DDP takes have changed. What's your take? The chat awaits, Chad. There's no way in hell DDP's losing. DDP stops the cringe lord. Book it. We'll see. We'll see. The DDP fans they're confident, man. You all are confident, especially the South Africans that have. I was looking at my analytics this morning, and quite a few people. We have a pretty high, not a high percentage, but a decent percentage of people that are subbed to the channel are from South Africa. So you guys back the hell out of your guy. I respect it. What do I think about Pyfer versus RoboCop? I think RoboCop might be the only guy at 185 who could have match Pyfer with the power. The problem is RoboCop gets hit. He doesn't move his head very well. Which fighter from the Contender Series this week had the most impressive performance? I think it was the flyweight Kavanaugh. Dricus and Adesanya hoping Robert Whittaker beats Chimaev. Yeah, I mean, I think Chimaev's a scary, especially we haven't seen Chimaev fight a real 185er per se, right? I mean, he's fought at 185. He fought Mearshart and some of those other guys, but like a real contender at 185. So if he could go out there and like dominate Rob, I think everyone's going to be like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? UFC should do an open weight event like back in those days, man. They're not going to do that anymore. Where is Nepal? Where's that at? At first, you were so confident in Izzy. I had the basic Izzy is too good for sloppy Dricus. That it changed to DDP is too strong and big. DDP by sub. Yeah, dude, when I went back and was kind of watching some film, I'm just like, I feel like DDP he's actually kind of better in a 5-round fight, which is kind of weird because in the 3-round fights, I think that he kind of give you the first round a little bit, and then he would slam on the gas in the second and third rounds to where now he's cautious in 1 and 2, and then he's cautious in 1, starts to kind of pick it up in 2, but it's really 3, 4, and 5 to where he started to, But I don't think he can let Adesanya be that comfortable in the first round because he was getting picked apart by that Strickland jab. And I know Strickland may have the best jab in the UFC, but still. Plenty of people in England rooting for Dricus. But now you got to see an awkward moment, close 3-2 decision. It might be, man. Might be a close one. The land of Mount Everest. What's up, Alexander? How you doing? What's up, Crossover? How you doing, man? I am worried about that. I think if Izzy's going to win, that's how he wins. He catches DDP. With a good counter shot. You really think DDP will try to target Izzy's calf to slow his movement? He'll have to, as Izzy's lateral movement will give him fits. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Izzy looked sharp in the open workouts. I know those are open workouts, but he looked sharp. I don't think you can be confident in both guys. You just see a war. I don't see this being boring at all. No, I see this being a really good fight. I told you those shorts were going to start to grow on you, man. The Venom fight kits are dope. I love what they're doing. Izzy and DDP both have granite chins, and I think DDP is going to get a razor close decision where they are both beat up. I can see it. I can see it. $900 to show my feet for 900, but for a $900 super chat, I'd show my foot up here. That's funny as hell. What's up, Fanatic? How you doing, man? Do I train martial arts? Yes, I do. If Hamzat loses, then Hamzat versus Bo. I mean, I could see that to where, because then Hamzat's stock is kind of like hit, and then they want to try to use him to add that name to Bo's resume. I could see that. You could see it kind of being like Glover Yuri, but more athletic. I mean, that's possible for sure. For sure. You really think Izzy is going to chin DDP? He might. He might. I've had that thought this whole time. Even when I was like, look, I think DDP can get it done. I'm still worried about it. All I'm saying is Strickland was able to use lateral movement to get away from the DDP blitz. Unlike Strickland, Adesanya will counter in those moments. Yeah, he does a great job of like stepping off and throwing those counter shots. And he leans back out of the way too, to where it's harder to hit him. What's up, Diego Lopez? How you doing? We got Diego in here, man. Who's my final pick for the main event? I ended up going DDP. I wish I didn't have to pick this one though, to be honest, because I'm 50-50, but I don't know. I don't know. I keep playing ping pong in my brain about it. I'm normally not 50-50 with a main event. I'm normally like this guy, that guy. Like I'm normally like, I got my mind made up. With this one, I keep going back and forth, you know? No, I'm definitely not betting on this fight. No way, man. No way. I look like an O'Malley build. That's just through the screen here, man. I'm a lot bigger than O'Malley. I'm a little taller, but in terms of I'm a lot bigger than O'Malley. He's a string bean. You do think we're going to see Shara fight at 308? I would be willing to bet money. Or you got DDP by 4th round sub. What's up, Woods? Yeah, I mean, they're going to put Shara on that card because he's limited to what cards he could be on because of the commissions with his eye and shit. So, the most hype bad blood fight since Colby Jorge. I mean, I think that this is a better fight. I don't think the bad blood is the same. I think the Jorge and Colby thing was like real personal, to where this is just kind of like, is it? Maybe it is. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it is to me. It seems like kind of more of a reason for people to get kind of to create something, to create some buzz, but I don't know. Yeah, I feel the same way, Chad. I feel the same way. Who am I picking between Max and Elia? So my early prediction is Holloway. That's what I put in one of my videos. But again, I don't like to make any like hardcore prediction until we get closer to the fight. So that's another one. That's another one. That's the other fight this year to where I'm like, I just don't know. I really don't know because, you know, Elia is undefeated. He's looked great. Max Holloway's coming off a crazy win over Gaethje, but going up to 55 and then coming back to 45. Like, I don't know how that's going to work out for him, you know? If DDP gets him down, what do I think will happen? It'll actually be insane to see Adesanya out cold. We've never even seen that. Yeah, we've never seen Izzy out cold. DDP's got some crazy ground and pound. So, you know what fight, honestly, here's the thing that makes me so like how everyone's like, oh, well, Izzy's going to catch him and this and that. This is what gives me a little bit of confidence. If you go back and do yourself a favor and watch, or do me a favor, yourself, whatever, watch the Jared Cannonier versus Izzy fight again. Because everyone keeps saying Kelvin Gastelum, Paulo Costa, and those are the fights that they're looking at. I honestly think a really good fight to look at is the Jared Cannonier Izzy fight. Because Jared Cannonier is a big, stocky dude. He switches stances, he throws leg kicks, he throws from both sides. Like, I think that's a very similar kind of opponent. And Cannonier gave Izzy a lot of issues. He did not allow Izzy to open up. He kind of just kept switching stances, attacking the legs. And Izzy said in the post-fight that he had a very hard time, getting it going against Cannonier because he was doing a good job, kind of negating what Izzy was trying to do. And it's like, man, if you think if Cannonier's doing that, I feel like DDP, who's got way better grappling than Jared Cannonier, way better ground and pound, way better submissions, plus I think he's a better striker than Cannonier. Now, the only thing is he does get a little bit more reckless than Cannonier. But if DDP doesn't get reckless, I see this being a really hard fight for Izzy. That's where I kind of got my confidence to be like, man, I really think that DDP can get this done. Which, by the way, if we have anybody new in here, if you could sub to the channel and help me out, I would appreciate it. Also, if you could like the stream as well, I would greatly appreciate it. Ilia Topuria at 145 by stoppage. At 55, I get Max more of a shot. Dude, that's basically, that's how I feel. Now, a stoppage over Holloway is kind of crazy, so I don't know if I can go that far, but if this was at 55, I'd be picking Max with full confidence. I even said that in my video that I made a while ago when the fight was announced. I'm like, look, this is at 55. I'm picking Max. I'm not even thinking twice. But the fact that he bulked up to go to 55, and now he's going to come back to 45, to where when he was getting hit by Arnold Allen, he was getting hit by Korean Zombie, and you could see it was having a little bit more of an effect on Holloway at 45 than what it used to at 45. So that's kind of what scares me, You could see as Izzy's getting up, he gets caught. I mean, yeah, possible for sure. Yeah, Holloway, I kind of wanted him to stay at 55, to be honest. I don't think Izzy whooped Cannonier's ass. I think he just kind of picked and poked at him. He literally jabbed and leg kicked. He literally jabbed and leg kicked. Arnold Allen could beat Ilia Topuria. Come on, England. I mean, Arnold Allen's a really good fighter. I like watching him fight. I don't know. Could he beat Ilia? I mean, I don't know about that, but I think that would be a fun fight. Whitaker Chimaev. So when the fight was first booked, I picked Hamzat to win. And I am still going to go with Hamzat. But I got mad at Chimaev, man, because the fight didn't happen. And I was like, early prediction for when it got reannounced, I'm like, Whitaker. But no, I was just mad at Chimaev. I got Chimaev winning. I'm hoping Chimaev can get it done. I like Robert Whitaker a lot. And the Whitaker that we saw against Ikram, that was a scary Robert Whitaker. That was not a guy that was coming in there to bounce and move around on the outside. He was coming in to sit on his shots and try to hurt Hamzat. So, but the thing is, Ikram is not nearly as good as Chimaev. And I know they had a close fight in, what was it, Brave before the UFC? Hamzat is way better than Ikram. Way better than Ikram. So, I think Hamzat's able to beat Whitaker. But again, a lot of people are going to jump off of the Hamzat train because I think a lot of people were picking Hamzat to beat Whitaker, and then they saw what happened against Ikram, and they're like, nope, I'm not picking him anymore, man. Like, because, Whitaker looked great. He did. But I sat up here on my channel. I even made a video, and when that fight got, when they were like, Ikram's in, Hamzat's out, I'm like, Whitaker's going to beat the brakes off of him because Ikram, he flinches on the feet. He over parries. I'm like, that's a disaster. This is a huge step up in competition for Whitaker. Now, I will say this. If Khamzat is stuck standing in front of Whittaker for a long period of time, he's in trouble. Because Robert Whittaker is definitely a better striker. But I do think that people underestimate Khamzat's striking. I think he's a much better striker than what people give him credit for. How much do I weigh? How much do you think I weigh? You picked Whittaker against Khamzat too because Khamzat pisses you off when he pulled out of this fight, man. Yeah, no, I picked. So my original prediction was Khamzat, and then in the early prediction when it got rebooked, I was like Robert. But no, I'm going Khamzat. I'm sticking to my prediction. I would like to see Holloway at 55 still. Anyway, listen, brother, smash everybody, brother, kill everybody. Ah. The fight I want to see is Holloway versus O'Malley. That'd be an interesting fight someday if that could happen, but I don't know. What's up, Robert? Khamzat hasn't done anything as a TL 185er yet, so I'm holding back until he fights a real 185er, and he only fights one time a year now if he's active. I mean, you can't really argue that, but what I can say is this. The way that we saw DDP beat Robert Whittaker, I think Khamzat can do something similar. Because Khamzat's definitely a better grappler than DDP. In terms of the wrestling, he's definitely better. And in terms of the power in his hands, maybe not as much power as DDP, but similar, and he can switch stances. He's got a good power jab when he switches to southpaw. So I think that's a shot that Whittaker struggles with. So I could see Khamzat getting it done. You think that this will be Khamzat's y'all must have forgot moment? Y'all must have forgot. Yeah, I can see that. 155 Holloway versus the Dan Hooker that fought Poirier. Who wins? Ooh. I mean, I would still go Holloway, but that's a rangy opponent in Dan Hooker. That might give him some issues. 180, a little less than that. Yeah, about 175 in that range. Yeah, like depending on what day I wake up, somewhere between 175, 180. You don't trust Whittaker's chin against Khamzat? I don't either. And Ikram, he just looked like a deer in headlights, man. He just looked like a deer in headlights. It was a big spotlight that he had not even been anywhere close to in his career. He got in there. He went from supposed to be fighting basically a can to going in there and fighting one of the best, most well-rounded guys of all time at middleweight, Robert Whittaker, one of the best middleweights of all time. Like deer in headlights, and got starched. Rob literally threw a feint at him and then threw a jab and saw Ikram kind of just flinch and go like this, and Whittaker's like, it's over, and stepped in and threw a 1-2 right after that, had him on skates, and then threw that uppercut that Chimaev knocked him out with, which was pretty wild. What fight on the Sphere card that interests me besides O'Malley and Merab? I got to look at that card again to remember. What fights are on there. I was excited for Fluffy versus Pereira. That would have been my answer, but then they moved that off the Sphere, which I was like, why the hell did they do that? You weigh 205 to 210 and you're 6'3". You're a big dude, man. Your King versus the Eagle will be fight of the night at 306. Yeah, Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega. That might be the fight. That'll be interesting. You got Khamzat by submission in the first round. I mean, I think, look, it's going to be interesting to see. Again, Yoel Romero, yeah, he does have good wrestling credentials, but in terms of MMA wrestling, Khamzat's better. In terms of MMA wrestling, because he threatens submissions and shit. MMA grappling, I should say. Prates is going to be a future champion. I mean, I can see it. We'll see, though, because this is a big step up against the Leech, so we'll see how he does. Yeah, Prates is good. He's got good tie skills. And I think that knee up the middle is going to be his friend in this fight, because I think Li Jingliang is going to come crashing forward, and that knee up the middle is going to be available. Khamzat will probably lose because he got sick halfway into the first. Man, that's fucked up. If the fight makes it into the third round, do I still think Hamzat will be the winner. So I heard some things that this was supposed to be a co-main event, and then now it's not. So it's no longer a 5-round co-main event. Is that what's going on? What's the deal with that fight? Because the rounds matter. The rounds matter. You know what I mean? You think Hamzat's cage wrestling is the best in the UFC? Whitaker won't manage to get up and he'll break and probably gas out himself. Well, the thing about Whitaker is if you can make him tired when he pops back up onto the feet, he holds his hand even lower, and he's a lot more kind of lethargic, and he'll be there to be hit. And I think Hamzat can take advantage of that. Yeah, Prates is he's a big welterweight. Yes. Shavkat subs Bilal. Usman versus Gary, a good fight. Usman and Gary, I mean, I don't think we get that fight. I mean, that would be a pretty good fight. But yeah, if anyone's going to beat Bilal, I feel like it would be Shavkat. But again, I don't know. I don't know if he can. I think Bilal's a really bad matchup for everybody right now. Especially the guy that showed up at I don't know. Should Umar get a title shot, or should they give him someone like Jan or Figgy first? I mean, I would love to see him and Figgy fight, but I feel like he's going to wait for the title shot since September is right around the corner. So I feel like that's not too long to wait for him. So I'm not underestimating Whitaker, man. He is good. I just think that there's a specific way to beat Whitaker, and I think that Hamzat has a skill set to be able to do that. Yeah, I think there's a very good shot that Bilal beats all those guys too. JDM is overrated, barely beat Holland, and was losing to Burns. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think JDM's got good boxing, but I think he's a touch overrated. You've never seen brown custom Venom shorts? It looked like someone shit their pants. Brown custom shorts. You've been saying JDM is overrated forever. Yeah, you have. I know you have. He's treated like he invented boxing. I think he's got good boxing. Like, don't get me wrong. He's got good boxing, but I'm not, dude, look. In order to, I keep saying, look, man, look, in order to win the welterweight title right now with the current landscape of the division, you have to have good takedown defense. JDM is not beating Bilal Muhammad. He's not beating him. The only guy at welterweight that I can see, possibly beating Bilal would be Shavkat, because he's finished every damn fight. So if someone's going to beat him, it's going to have to be by finish. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think MVP could be JDM too. I think he could too, but I don't know. It depends. Yeah, Shavkat does have a deficiency in the boxing. We saw that against Jeff Neal, but also Jeff Neal's got pretty good boxing, though, to be fair. If Jake Paul sleeps Mike Tyson, that'll be sad. Do I think Shavkat finishes JDM? I mean, I think, yeah, I think so. I think so. But again, JDM is a better striker. But the problem is I think Shavkat, when he gets a hold of him, it would be an issue. JDM is a good striker, but he does kind of leave his chin in the air for sure. For sure. And Shavkat's rangy. He's like long and tall, and you know what I mean? Shavkat's a savage. He's hard to stop. Yeah, he's just he's been away for a while though, right? He's been MIA for a while, but he's dangerous. He's dangerous. He's got good power. He's got decent power, I'd say, but it's really the submission threat. I mean, I know Wonderboy's older, but we've seen guys just grapple Wonderboy to a boring decision, but to sub Wonderboy, like that's impressive. Shavkat's your favorite fighter? JDM has to keep it on the feet with Bilal, but Bilal is setting up those takedowns, especially how much Bilal has improved his striking. Yeah, I mean, I think that the boxing improvements on the side of Bilal would create some issues. What's up, Turp? Predict the first round of Dricus versus Izzy. I think that Dricus will be cautious, and I think that Izzy will be patient, and I think that it's going to be kind of a boring first round, if I'm being honest. If I'm being 100% honest, I think that the first round is going to be boring. I think it's going to be both guys have a really good game plan, and they're both going to be patient. DDP is going to be very tight with that high guard moving forward. You know what I mean? He's going to be moving forward with that high guard. And then I think Izzy's going to be on the outside, kind of feinting and twitching and throwing out a jab and a lot of feints and moving. And I don't think that there's going to be a lot happening in the first round. What's up, Yaya? How you doing? Who should Marvin Vettori fight next? I don't know, because he's been out for so long. That is there anybody even available? Him and Joe Pyfer. How about that? Why does Shavkat deserve a title shot? Because there's really nobody else right now. That's the issue. And I think he should get it over Usman, because Usman's on a 3-fight losing streak. The UFC should fire Dana White. His bias and favoritism is you can't fire Dana White, man. Dana White is like the reason the UFC's around, and he's like the big face of the company. What's up, King's Landing? How you doing, man? Yeah, I saw Habib paid his taxes. I saw that. Yeah. Dricus going to shoot probably a lot of clinching in the first. Probably try to wear on him a little bit. Yeah, I can see that. You enjoy watching Ty, even though he's not that skilled. He just brawls and his belly wobbles when he's wobbled. Tai Tuivasa is dangerous, man. He's dangerous. You don't think Burns could even come close to taking down Leon? JDM was easily outgrappled by Burns. What would Bilal do? That's what I'm saying. Bilal would dominate JDM, dude. He would dominate JDM. Yeah, but isn't JDM injured, though? Then he busted up his arm. If Izzy wins, we're not going to be able to see Lucas Cope over it. Yeah, he I was really surprised about that with Lucas, man. I really was. I feel like he'll be back though. I feel like he'll be back. I think that he's just thinking he's a guy that's into like the fitness and the bodybuilding, and I think that he's kind of like he's thinking like long term. I think he's like, he's had that cookbook, I think, right? Didn't he have a cookbook or something? And I think that he was like trying to I think that he sees what some of these fitness influencers are doing out there. And I think that he kind of might want to do something like that because he's, shown that like his personality like draws people in. So I think that he's probably thinking in his mind, if I apply that to like something bodybuilding oriented, I can see him. I wish the guy well, man, like doing whatever he does. And I think it's good for the community when he's around. I think he's entertaining, wildly entertaining for sure. Him. There's a lot of guys in the community, man, that are doing some good stuff. So some of the channels like mine, smaller, but we're putting in some solid work. You got Based MMA out there. He's doing a good job. So, there's some guys on the whether you agree with him or not, Kenny, he's entertaining. The Izzy Glazer. Yeah, I've seen what's going on with Strickland and Tiki. Yeah, there's some interesting things going on there. Sounds like Strickland's got some dirt on him. What do I think about the whole John fighting Stipe instead of Tom? So I made a whole video on that on my channel. So Diego, are you new to the channel, man? But if I feel like I haven't seen your username. But again, I feel like there's a bunch of people that have like a Diego Lopez thing. But I made a video talking about this because I don't want to go on a rant on the take up all the time on the stream about that. But I have a video on my channel about it, a recent video I did. He would dominate both JDM and Gary. Yeah, I think Bilal, like I said, I think he's a hard fight for everybody. Izzy's been training with Damian Maia going into the DDP fight, so yeah, I mean, look, just because you bring in Damian Maia doesn't mean that you're all of a sudden going to be able to, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't necessarily mean the world. You know what I mean? I saw Johnny's training with Habib now. He went from McGregor's camp to Habib's. It's pretty fucked up. I'm thinking about it, Fanatic. I'm thinking about it, man. MMA Guru versus Logan Paul at boxing. Kenny just rage baiting guys. Kenny's a cartoon, or as cartoonish. You've been watching for a while. I appreciate it, man. It's I put it up recently. Walker's getting a strange voice note from McGregor for sure. Yeah, yeah, he is. Johnny. Remember when he did that about Dustin? He's like, Dustin, P head. What would he say about Johnny Walker, though? You get fucking KO'd by, and you look like Johnny Walker when he gets KO'd. Yeah, I could do like, I don't have the best Connor impression, but when it comes to the voice note impression, I feel like I got the Connor voice note down. When I'm watching fights, do I break them down in my head or just enjoy what's happening without too much thought? That's why I have not done fight companions at all yet. I'm consider doing it, but yeah, I'm very like analytical when I'm watching. Yeah, I don't know. I don't that's crazy that he is now with Habib's team. That's kind of Walker, Chen Ra. I don't know if that was good, but and when Connor gets like all he gets like all like ticky and he starts like moving around and grabbing his shirt and you know what I mean? He gets like all like weird and shit. Dustin P head. I'm coming for you, P head. I remember that voice note. I feel like I got that one down. I feel like I got that one down. Tony's been around a long time. We should have fought a long time ago. Khabib's bitch ass was afraid of, or what did he say? Khabib's bitch ass was afraid of him, just like this bitch ass motherfucker was afraid of me yesterday. We poked his bitch ass in the back here, and now he don't know how to make weight. You know what I'm saying? You already know what it is. Real G's come from California, America, motherfucker. Nate Diaz, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Rogan always has like the most random fucking. Someone could be up there and say the most ridiculous shit, and he goes, "Nate Diaz, ladies and gentlemen." Connor is. What's up, Couch Warrior? How you doing, man? What's up, Juice Man? Yeah, Connor, he's interesting. He's wild. Those voice notes are wildly entertaining. Have you seen the one when when Anthony Smith got hurt and he's like, so what was the injury? What was it? Was it a break? It's gonna break. I don't give a fuck if that leg's broke. Throw it again. Like, what kind of coach would McGregor be? You crack your shin. Like most people, I feel like coming into a fight, if they had a cracked leg, they're like, okay, we're not leg kicking in this fight. And Connor's like, you know what? Nah, we're leg kicking. We're going to leg kick, in fact, before we even try to throw a fucking punch. Like, I just don't understand McGregor's logic. Like, I know he's a great fighter and everything, but like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Impression of Israel Adesanya? Let me think on that one. Hang on. When can you give me an answer? Because I need to change my setup to watch the fight and your stream because people are sleeping here when the main card starts. That's wild, man. That's wild. Yeah, I'm thinking of, look, I want to do it, but my setup is kind of weird. Like I got the TV over here, and like this, it's a weird setup. So I'd have to kind of figure out my setup. But if I did it, it would just be for the main card. Botched. Trust. Yeah. He goes like this. He like licks his lips and shit. He goes like, Izzy, have you noticed how he does that? He goes like a lizard. He's like, but yeah. When in doubt, but yeah. He'll feel me in there. He'll feel me in there. But yeah. Diaz said he's good with Habib now. Where do you say that? Booting people for years, keep kicking. Yeah. I know, like, and all of the voice, like, Connor really is like the only person that's done the voice note shit. It's kind of funny. Thoughts on Chandler finally giving up? I mean, I don't even know if he has, because he said that he still thinks it's going to happen this year, though. Yeah, Connor is the type to just say walk it off. What's up, Jacob? How you doing, man? Botched. Is he yoked as hell right now? I mean, I think he's a little bit bigger. I think that anyone, you can go in there and do like 100 push-ups right now and flex and take a picture, and you're gonna look, if you're in like lean enough, you'll look ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of, or you'll look better than, whatever. So a lot of it, I think, is like, post-workout, taking pictures and stuff like that, because some of that can be a little deceiving. But I do think he's still a little bit bigger, though. You thought DDP would be packing more? After his Chiesa fight, Tony said, I'm going to put one glove down. That's what he said. Impression of Izzy is easy. Just say frozen like Elsa. Yeah, well, Hooker also tattooed Dan. Dan Hooker said, you know what? I got an idea. I have no tats, but I'm just going to get a whole fucking, from basically the where the kneecap starts down to the top of the foot for the first one. Man, I fucking like that. Let me do the other one while I'm here. Can you hook me up and do the other one the same way, man? And then he goes home and he's like, man, that's fucking sick. Can you put a fucking wild ass thing on the center of my chest? Actually, while I'm still here, can you do my back too, man? Like Dan Hooker, he got so many fucking tattoos out of nowhere. He went from like no tats to like all the tats, Bootlicker Bisping. Yeah, dude, Ariel Helwani absolutely cooked him. You're excited to see Jose Delgado fight in the UFC. So am I, man. So am I. Do I think Tuivasa is going to get KO'd stiff? No, not stiff. I don't think it'll be stiff. I don't think do you guys think that Jairzinho has like that crazy, like one flush shot knockout power? I don't think he does. I think he's kind of got to like pepper a little bit. Yeah, Hooker's chest tat is a little weird. What's next for Jean Silva? He needs a ranked guy at 45. Am I tatted? Maybe. Tony said in a post-fight press conference he's chill with Habib. Oh, yeah. I thought you said Diaz. But yeah, Tony and Habib seem like they've kind of buried the hatchet. It looks like it should be on the side of an amusement park ride. Hooker also dyed his hair Snow White. He's like in his Eminem era. And Joe Burrow for the fucking Bengals just did that shit too. They're in their like Eminem era where they just dye their hair blonde or whatever. This looks weird. You were laughing hard when DDP called out Izzy about the Willie tweet. Yeah, Hooker. Yeah, Hooker seems like he might have been going through something, man. To get all those tats like that out of nowhere, I don't know. I've never really seen that. Someone go from like no tats to all the tats. You know what I mean? Tuivasa ends the losing streak this Saturday 100%. I mean, maybe. Maybe it's a good matchup for him. You remember when Curtis Blades said he would fuck up Alex Pineda? Yeah, I don't know. If Curtis Blades could take him down, I could see him having success, but on the feet, he gets starched. Yeah, I did see DDP say that. DDP, he's pretty good on the mic. He's got some good trash talk. He's got some good comebacks too. JJK, you better pause, man. Kevin Lee was supposed to have returned back to the UFC. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to see him back, though. I don't know that we're going to see him back, to be honest. Yeah, DDP, he's been showing, yeah. Yeah, I saw him with Izzy's coach, Eugene Behrman. Will I watch the press conference? Isn't it at like 4 in the morning? I'll watch it in the morning when I get up. I'll be up like an hour and a half after that. What's next for Mauricio Rufy? I'm not sure, but I would like to see him back in there before the end of the year. I'm really high on him. I think that he has the most potential out of the Fighting Nerds team. DDP seems like a Christian who's fighting against his gayness. That's wild, man. Kevin Lee has to be the most overhyped guy. I always thought Kevin Lee was overrated. I always thought he was overrated. I never understood the Kevin Lee hype. I never understood the Kevin Lee hype, to be honest. Casey O'Neill losing. I mean, she might, yeah. Luana Santos is stepping in instead of whoever the first, I forget the first person. What will you do if Izzy slumps Dricus? I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be like, whoa. I don't know. I don't know. In the moment, my reaction might be wild. Yeah, JJK, you might be, man. Yeah, Hills, every post he has, it gets trolled. Who's my favorite women's MMA fighter? Arena Aldana. Mauricio versus Max. Yeah, I mean, he's got to win some fights, some big fights first before he gets a fighter like Max, an opportunity like that. You have a funny feeling Steve is going to lose? I mean, Kara France is good. I just think that Steve Urseg, he's got better grappling. He's got better submissions. And I think that he's got good boxing. So I don't know. Why Aldana? Because I like her fighting style. I like her boxing. I think she's fun to watch. So I don't think that Steve KOs him. I think that he may hurt him, but it's the submission threat of everyone thinks that like Steve is a KO guy. I think he's going to win, but I think it could be by submission if it was any type of finish. He's only got like 1 KO on his record, and that was against Matt Schnell. Other than that, it's been basically all subs. Steve Carell is Steve Ursang. I don't think Mauricio is going to get fraud checked. I actually watched a fight back. It might have been his only professional loss. The only way that Mauricio loses is one if he faces a crazy grappler. But on the feet, he's really good unless that you're able to make him tired and you're able to get inside of his range. And got that the one loss that I saw, he got finished. I believe he got finished or he got hurt. I think he got finished in that fight. And that was because the guy got on the inside and was able to land some good boxing combinations. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his only KO is that left hook KO over Chanel. Everything else has been submissions, but he's kind of like a Joe Alvarez. He can hurt you on the feet and then sub you. And that's how I think he beats Kara France. Aldana is good. She's fun to watch for sure. Mine is future baby mama Grasso. The UFC saw RDA land that knee on Gamrot, then immediately called Hooker. I know. Yeah, because Gamrot's not whether he's good or not, the UFC, I don't think is very high on him. He's not very exciting. How did I score Grasso versus Shevchenko last year? To be honest with you, I don't really remember. I remember it being really close. What's up, BG? How you doing? Said you had the best picks this week ever. You did have good picks. I saw that video. He said your picks were horrible. Picks are picks, though, you know. Everybody's got different opinions. BG, you're like a celebrity. Everywhere you go, people are like, is that you? Is that Base Goddess? Yeah, I kind of have like the main event plague right now. Whoever think with my brain is going to win, I usually pick with my heart and then I get it or I pick with my brain and I get it fucking wrong. And then I like I don't know. I've been all fucked up. I've been all fucked up with the main event picks this year in terms of pay-per-views. Actually, I've gotten quite a bit of picks right actually this year. The only ones I've gotten wrong were 304 I got wrong, and then I got UFC 297 wrong, but I picked DDP. Actually, no, I got it right. I picked DDP, but I thought Strickland won. So I was like, fuck. So, but I've gotten most of my, I think, main event predictions right this year. My prelim picks have been garbage. That's why my Tapology record is like 500, because my prelim selections are always fucking. I'll go like 0 for, I'll go like 0 for 7 in the prelims, and then I get saved by the main card because I normally get like at least, you know, over half of them right, and then that kind of helps balance out my percentage. But I get fucked up with the prelim picks. Yeah, when you pick with the heart, sometimes it goes well, sometimes it usually goes wrong more than it goes well right. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that on the picks. Yeah, even with some research, the prelims will disappoint. They will. And a lot of the time, you don't know. Like the first fight this weekend is Nicole and Jesus Aguilar. And it's like, look, I feel like Nicole style-wise could beat Aguilar, but again, he hasn't had a fight in the UFC yet, Steve Nicole. So it's like, is Jesus going to kind of, you know, not be feeling the moment and get a win here? I mean, I picked Nicole to win, but with my luck, whoever I fucking pick on the prelims, pick the other fucking person. I'm hoping for a good prelim week. I really truly believe in my prelim picks this week. I really do. I feel good about my prelim picks. The only pick that I don't feel confident in is the main event, because I was confident in Izzy, and then I'm like, you know, I was watching some film and I'm like, I just don't think DDP opens himself the way he used to. So I feel like DDP could get it done. But then I'm like starting to believe into the aura again of Izzy. You know what I mean? And I like Izzy. I'm biased towards that fighting style. That's the fighting style I like. So if it was straight kickboxing, I'd pick Izzy all day long. But in terms of MMA, the brain is telling me DDP, but the heart is saying Izzy. So I'm going with the brain. You have a 65% win rate on Tapology, but I did have about 67 at one time. That's pretty fucking good, man. You get too analytical picking fights and never get them right. I only have success when I just go with my gut, but it's hard to. Yeah, it is. It is. It's hard, man. Picks are hard. Carlos versus the Leech is going to be a great fight. I agree. MMA is a weird sport to pick a winner in, as anything can and does happen 100%. Izzy's going to do a Deadpool dance of Deadpool and Wolverine in the walkout. That'd be pretty wild. Who's next for Talbot? I think they should have done him versus Adrian Yanez at the Sphere. I almost thought that was a. I would have bet that they would have done that, and they didn't for some reason. I don't know why they didn't do it, but or no, didn't they? I thought they did. Or is it? I thought they did. I thought Adrian Yanez got at it. I don't know. Let me look at the Sphere card. I'm pulling up the Sphere right now. I'm pulling it up, man. We got to look at this card. We got to look at the card. Let me see. All right. Damn, Raul Rosas is going to be the fucking featured fight. He's going to be right under the co-main event. That's crazy. Manuel Torres and Nacio Bahamondes. That's a good fight. I really thought that we had Adrian Yanez on this card. What the fuck's going on with their website here? I thought that Adrian Yanez was on this card. I really did. Do I like comics or superhero movies? I like superhero movies. Comics, not so much. I mean, I don't hate them. I just don't really like look at them. But yeah, in terms of movies, yeah, for sure. Next champ in lightweight, just going to be Islam until he decides to move up or retire. Arena Aldana and Norma Dumont is a very good fight. I think Arena wins. I'm biased because she's my favorite WMMA fighter. I like her style. She has really good boxing. I think she's fun to watch. She just didn't open up enough against Amanda Nunes. And I think if she could have done much better. But yeah, that is a good fight because Norma Dumont, she's aggressive too. You don't get the deal with having a Mexican-themed card for the Sphere because it's on Mexican independence. Zhang Weili is great. Yes, I think that she is the most skilled women's MMA fighter right now, all around, best skill set. And they just announced, didn't they just announce a fight night that's going to somewhere in China later on in the year? I could see them doing a ESPN Plus special where they have Zhang Weili headline the card, defend the title, and they do like that's a non-pay-per-view event. I could potentially see that. They've done that before. Remember when they did that with Grasso, I think, before against Shevchenko the second time? Who will she fight? I don't even fucking know. Let me see. Let me see. Let me look at the rankings right now. Let's see what the rankings say. Because I don't know. I don't know. Because again, in women's MMA right now, there's not a lot of the divisions are not they're not deep at all. Let's see. Women's strawweight. Verna Jandiroba, maybe. I know that that's not like a super, you got Tatiana Suarez, maybe. Yeah, kind of a weird spot. Kind of a weird spot for sure. Yeah, I saw that. Blanchfield is fighting Namajunas at the fight night in Edmonton. I did see that. Rose in her prime was exciting, and now she's boring, but Rose is still your favorite WMMA fighter of all time. Yeah, she's a lot more like, I don't know. She plays the distance game the whole time. Doesn't take as many risks, but still, whatever it takes to win, I guess. Yeah, early prediction, I would go with Rose too. I think her footwork, people look, whenever someone has really good footwork and good movement, it's a lot harder to take them down. And I think that Rose's footwork is going to be an issue for Blanchfield. There's some good WMMA fights out there. They just got to they just got to put the right matchups together. You miss Rose being violent and more risky. Yeah, me too. Me too. I think that I don't know. I feel like some of those matchups, she just I don't know. I feel like she knows that she can coast to a victory. And skill for skill, she's just going to be able to pick people apart. Luana Santos has crazy potential. Yeah, I think so too. She's got to get through Casey O'Neill this weekend, which I think she can, even though it's short notice. It's easier to get to the UFC, but harder to stay in the UFC. But I don't know if it's necessarily easier to get to because, again, they said that they're trying to really only bring people in off the Contender Series and off of Tough, is what it sounds like. Yeah, I think Pat Barry's a bad cornerman also. I think she made a mistake by getting away from Trevor Whitman. But, I mean, what the hell is she going to do, I guess, because that's her Pat Barry's like her fiance or whatever. You think Andrade breaking her nose that bad made her switch up? Yeah, she like dunked her on her head. Yeah, I think that something like that can definitely make you change for sure. Yeah, Pat Barry, he has. I think he's been detrimental. I think he's been detrimental to Rose, to be honest with you, in that aspect. I think Trevor Whitman was good for her, and then I mean, I get it. It's your fiance, but still, I feel like you got to be able to draw that line when it comes to business and fighting, and whoever's going to be in your corner, it's business. People are glazing Santos because she's not. I understand. I mean, I think she's aggressive. She's got power. Yeah, I think Luana, she's very skillful. Like, yeah, people are like, oh, she's hot, and that's like kind of what they roll with. But it's like she's skilled though, very skilled. And I think Casey, I mean, she's got volume on her side, and she was preparing for a fight. To where now, Luana taking it on rather short notice. Yeah, what the hell's this whole turtle ankle Tracy ordeal, man? But yeah, I like that Irene Aldana Norma Dumont fight though. I think that's a good. That was my initial reaction to the card when I broke that down. I was like, look, I think that that's a good fight that people aren't going to discuss. Next British champ is Arnold Allen or Paddy Pimblett. I mean, I feel like it's more likely for I don't know actually, because Paddy Pimblett looked good in his last fight, but again, Bobby Green's older. Paddy looked huge. He looked really big in that. He looked big in there. But I don't know. I don't know. You might be crazy, but you could see Paddy climbing the rankings. I think he could too. Is that my triple cringe face in the thumbnail? What's up, man? No, that was when I was mad about the John Jones situation, to where I saw that comment from John and I made a video recently talking about it. And so I was like, fucking, my blood pressure was through the roof. And I took that picture to use for the thumbnail. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Speaks to me. I look like an angry motherfucker. And I'm like, let's put it in there. Paddy won't become champ. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to become champ. He's a big name in the division, though. Could you see Paddy beating Islam? Like, I don't know. I don't think he could. You believe Paddy is taller than 5'10"? I mean, not only just is he tall, but he looks big. He looked like a welterweight in there. One of my thumbnails looks like I'm constipated because I might have been, man. I might have been. Remember when John Jones tweeted a phone number? Yeah, whose number was it? Do we know? Patty versus Gaethje or Dustin. That'd be fun. Patty is very hittable for sure. He doesn't have particularly good striking defense. Patty's gonna hydrate to 210. Dude, he gets so like fat in the off season. It is crazy. His face goes from like having a jawline to like it's, I don't know, it looks very unhealthy to me. Where is the when is the press conference? Someone was just, I think, saying that it's 4 a.m. Eastern time, like Friday morning, basically for us. But I don't know. They have everything in Australian time, so I don't fucking know. I'll show you where you're from. Trust. Botched. Patty needs more discipline. I mean, look, he's the pro fighter. I'm not going to tell the guy what to do. I'm just saying, I agree with TJ Dillashaw. He's like, dude, you're a professional. You just know, not that they would ever call Patty on short notice because he's a big name and they would want to build up for his fight. You just have to know he's never fighting on short notice. You know what I mean? We got 18 people in here right now. We had over 20 at one point, and there's only like 5 or 6 people. Who the fuck are these other people watching this shit, man? We got some stalkers of the channel. Like, what's going on here? Justin might potentially knock out Patty. I could see it. That'd be a fun fight, though. Yeah, Kenny's not a man of his word, dude. He hopped into my live, what was it, the last live stream? Oh, send me a message. We'll set it up. We'll do a live. Dude doesn't read his messages, man. Doesn't read his messages. He's too busy glazing Izzy the whole time. Patty's inflating after his fights that will hurt his health in the long run. I mean, yeah, to inflate like that, listening to my yapping. No, I know you've been in here, man. I know you've been in here. But I'm saying we got like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 people commenting. So who the fuck are the other 10? Who are you people? Who are you? Patty could sub Gaethje, possibly. Then again, Patty could very well be the next Kelvin Gastelum. Yeah, he could be. That is possible. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man? Kenny ducked. I mean, yeah, if that was him, unless that was a troll, but I'm pretty sure that was him, man, because he would be the one to pop in and be like, DDP popped. Dustin would beat Patty's ass too. Yeah, I think he would. Announce yourselves. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, Mystic. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Nah, you're good, man. I know you're here. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I feel like some of you, maybe you are listening right now. Yeah, what's up, 138? How you doing, man? I gotta answer you back. I'm good for tomorrow, man. I meant to send you a message. But yeah, I feel like some people, maybe you guys are doing something in the background. So let me serenade you with my voice. Thank you for tuning in to Jake Gerber MMA. I appreciate that. Just do a creepy ass radio voice. Man, that everybody's doing some shit listening to me in the background. What am I, a fucking afterthought to you? You don't want to see my face? You just want to hear me talk? Is that all I am to you people? Just a fucking voice? So what you're saying is I should start making content where my face is not on the camera. People are like, nah, we're good. But no, I get it. I get it. I used to do that at work too. When I was working like a corporate job or whatever, I used to like listen to some shit in the background. I get what you guys are saying. I'm just trolling. What's up, Sky? How you doing? Jack, man, it's Jake, dude. Don't call me Jack. Prime Ferguson would have embarrassed Patty. Maybe. I'm like a podcaster. Yeah, I look, I'm 50-50 on the main event. I'm just like, the more I watch the film, I'm just like, man, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Anti-work club, yeah. You hate to break it to you, mate. We're not here for your looks. Keeping me, I appreciate that, man. People are like, fuck that guy. We don't want to see his face. They're like, no. Anytime I do a recap, the video starts. All right, now we're good. Now we can listen. But I got a bunch of dudes commenting on my fucking appearance. So I don't know what to believe, you know? I got some dudes building me up, and then I got some dudes tearing me down. And then I got people, I don't know if you guys have seen that. Some of the comments saying I look like fucking Ryan Garcia. I'm like, first of all, I hope when they say that, they're not saying that I'm fucking crazy, like lost my mind like that. Because if that's what they're saying, that I've lost my mind like that, then that's a problem. And I need to go get some fucking help. I like Ryan Garcia. I think that you know, I like Ryan Garcia, but he's like kind of went over the edge a little bit. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, Mike. I appreciate that. You're putting the work on, balls. I appreciate it, man. That's funny. Did you know Michael Chandler competed in the 2023 Beer Olympics? No, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'm Wolverine as soon as the moon comes out. The fuck? What do you mean? Who would I pick between Patty and Joel Hernandez? You mean Joe Alvarez? I'd pick Joe Alvarez. Man, Gart, taking a performance enhancer doesn't teach you a great left hook and a great technique, though. You know what I mean? I feel like Ryan Garcia could have beat his ass no matter what. And if he actually even took anything, I don't know. Yeah, Michael Chandler, man. I mean, he should do the Beer Olympics because I don't, at this rate, he's never fighting again, is he? Craze, what's your Twitter, man? People say you look like Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is a funny ass dude, man. Yeah, Chandler can't keep waiting around. I don't get it. I don't get it. Joe Alvarez versus Rufy, who wins? Oh, that's a great fight. I think that the ground game of Joe Alvarez might be a problem, but he doesn't move his head, and I can see Rufy landing on him, you know? Someone even said I look like Tupac, which I know isn't true. That's a compliment, man. Tupac's a G. Alvarez versus Zell Huber. I could see them making that in the future, but right now they're trying to build up the prospects, you know? What's up, Wolf Fuel? How you doing, man? 2 fights happening before Connor versus Chandler, me versus Connor, me versus Chandler. Yeah, could be. So, do you guys think that I should leave the beard or should I trim it down? I was thinking about doing a little growing it out, man, because we got that Abu Dhabi card coming up, and we got some of the big beard dudes coming up. So I was trying to put my best brother beard going on. What do I think about Moicano versus Saint Denis? I think that I might do that, Craze. I might do that, man. I might do that. It might look weird though if I just shaved the stash. I've never done that. That might look fucking weird. Might look really weird. What do we think? So I think that Hanato Moicano, I call him Gritty Moicano because he always finds a way to win. I don't think that Saint-Denis has better grappling than him, but I think that I think that Moicano has cleaner striking, but he doesn't have a lot of power in his striking, and I think that that might get him into some trouble. But I honestly think Moicano can pull off the upset. I really do. I really do think he can pull it off. Keep the beard. I think I might, man. It starts to get like itchy. I got like a little cream beard oil or whatever to put in it, but I don't know. Like my beard, I've never like really let it go to where it kind of like fluffs out. I think I did a long time ago, but now it might be a little different since I'm a little older now, but got to put that shit in there so it doesn't get all like itchy and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Moicano, but I think that he could get it done. I think he can pull off an upset. I like Moicano, man. Support Robert Whittaker with the beard. Does the second loss hurt Benoit Saint-Denis? Yeah, I think it does. And they're trying to build another France star, man. Look, they have who do they have? They have Silgon, and he hasn't been as active. They have Nasruddin Imavov, but I think they're trying to add the for Imavov to not be headlining and it to be Saint-Denis headlining, which I also think that part of that is because of a Hanato Moicano, also because he's kind of became a name now, but I don't know. You think money is biting off more than he can chew? Maybe. Look, I think Saint-Denis, I think he's good, but I don't know. Dan Hooker has a beard now. I saw that. Yeah, Mike, I saw that. That's wild, man. I saw that. The world is crazy right now. I'll leave it at that. It's crazy right now. Moicano is a true competitor. I would agree. He finds a way to win. That's just what he does. He finds a way to win. And I think Jalen Turner is a better striker than Benoit Saint-Denis. You know, and I know he got clipped there, so I don't know. Yes, I do. I do remember Cargo. Some fighters retire young because they're just like they want to go do other shit and they don't want to keep, the training is a lot. Obviously, that's one, and then two, they want to go do other things and want to prioritize their brain health as well. But I don't know, to each its own, because some of the guys, they retire in their like mid to later 30s. You know? Yeah, Turner. Yeah, Turner, he I don't know, man. He seems to have never been able to like figure out the grappling aspect. And then yeah, I don't know. I don't know with Jalen Turner. Hard to trust him in a pick these days. Congo might be coming back to the UFC. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. Yeah, Jalen Turner, man, he's got some. I mean, that fight with Dan Hooker was wild. But again, you know, I don't know. It's hard to trust Jalen Turner with a pick these days. Can Dan Hooker knock Gamrot's spark out? I mean, if he's going to win, I feel like he has to. So I think he can. Will he? I don't think so. Do I think Corey has another title run in him? Yeah, I think he's got one more. Turner isn't that good. He's just like Kevin Lee, a guy that had potential. I kind of feel that way too. If you had to bet on someone this weekend, who would it be? Jack Jenkins or Nolan on the prelims? I feel like they have the best matchup. I think that they have like relatively easy matchups for them. But if it had to be on the main card, probably Steve Erceg beating Kara France. Yeah, I think Corey he needs to make a change. He's got to be more aggressive. I think he's got to be more aggressive. So I get what you mean with the killer instinct. He's got to be more aggressive. Who would I pick between Brian Ortega and Dan Hooker? Brian Ortega. I think Ortega could mix in the grappling. You saw how he dealt with the range of Yair, and Yair is a better striker than Dan Hooker. The only thing would be the size of Dan Hooker. I know Hooker's been down to 45 before, but that was a crazy weight cut to where he didn't look the same. So yeah. Yeah, Corey does have to take more risk. And I thought that he would. Coming in, his hands look sharp, especially early on again, training with Trevor Whitman. I expected him to look sharp, but he just didn't. How would Brandon Moreno and Cheeto go? That's an interesting fight. I think that Brandon Moreno could outpoint him, but he didn't look very active in his last fight. You know what I mean? He didn't look very active in his last fight. So I don't know. I think the Ravens can get 10 or 11 wins this year. Diego Lopez and Max Holloway. Interesting fight. I think that Max Holloway can probably just pick him apart. But yeah, I think Cheeto could beat Moreno, but I don't know because Moreno, the reason I'm saying that is Moreno looked just not himself. The output wasn't there. He's got good boxing. He's there. He likes to stand in the pocket. And I think Cheeto's got good kicks. But again, the speed of a flyweight is going to give Cheeto problems. (17-0). I was given a realistic answer, but I don't think we go 17-0, man. Yeah, Max is a hard matchup for a lot of people, man. Yeah, Connor, I think that we've seen kind of the last of him. I don't even know if we see him fight in the UFC anymore or ever again, I mean. Max is a hard matchup for a lot of guys, man. He's a hard dude to deal with. There's no doubt about it. Ravens 3-14. Get the fuck out of here, man. You could hate the Ravens and you can't think that that's for real, man. Yeah, the Ravens adding Derrick Henry is crazy. If Max beats Elia, I appreciate that, Mike. If Max beats Elia, you think Volk is able to beat him? No, I think that Max can beat Volk, which sounds kind of crazy, but I think he can. Yeah, I don't like the Steelers either. It's hard as hell staying undefeated in MMA boxing, not so much. Ravens are going 13-4. I think that's a pretty realistic pick there. That's a good pick. Who would you pick between Justin Gaethje and Lopez at 55? Ooh, I think I might have to go Diego because he's got the submission threat, and Gaethje struggles with guys like that. And Diego kind of fights like Oliveira, you know what I mean? And that gave Gaethje a lot of problems. But I don't know though. I don't know. He'll be great all season. When you get to the postseason, we'll probably forget to call the run plays like the AFC Championship game last year. Yeah, we always have a fuck up, man, down the stretch. There's always some sort of fuckery going on, you know? So, yeah, but a few more, man, and then I'm gonna hop off here. I got some more shit I got to do for the day. But I also was maybe gonna record a video on the announcement of UFC Edmonton because I got some thoughts on that. Should I make a video on that? The UFC Edmonton card announcement? I think that Harbaugh's a good coach. I just think that he's not hard enough. Like he's kind of a player's coach, and sometimes that might get in the way of. Um, I don't know. I think he's a good coach. I like Harbaugh. Yeah, and PR, I can see that. Dana hates Canada. I mean, that's what was the last time they were in Canada? It was 297, right? I know, man. The one thing I feel like and I know slow and steady can kind of win the race, but I'm at the point where it's like some of these videos, like that I'm missing. I think I just haven't had those videos that just like a couple of people get those videos that skyrocket, and then that way you're exposing yourself to so many different people, and that's kind of just what I haven't hit on my channel. Like I get some videos that do really well here and there, but it's like that those couple videos that just go wild because that's the key is getting it out there so everyone like knows who you are because that's kind of the struggle. So, but we're being patient, man. We're doing our thing. Yeah, yeah. Have I ever thought about doing reaction / your thoughts on previous famous UFC fights? Like right now, I'm watching Diaz versus McNuggets one, and it'd be cool to hear you talk about it. I haven't thought about it, but I might do something like that. I'm open to ideas, man. I've watched McGregor versus Diaz fights so many times, both of them. Both of them. They're great fights. The first one, wild because of the hype and all the bullshit, like the bad blood coming into it. You know what I mean? 5 million of those views are you, and then another 5 million are me. If I want views, just rage bait. What is that? Like being all negative and shit? I try not to be too negative, but sometimes the UFC is kind of just handing us layups at this point. Yeah, the only way I like rage is if I actually like feel like it needs to be raged on. But I'm about to hop off here. Everybody. Yeah, if you guys have not seen, I just put out a video, I think last night, I think it came out on the Contender Series, recapping that because week one was fucking wild. 4 out of 4 fights were finishes. So that was good stuff. No, the UFC went to Canada for UFC 297, Strickland and Du Plessis. So, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. This was fun, man. So good stuff. And I will see you all next time.